it going, everybody? So we have a fun review today as we're talking Sinners. Back when 2025 kicked off, this was one of my most anticipated movies for the entire year. I mean, how can you go wrong with Ryan Coogler at the helm, action, vampires, and double the Michael B. Jordan? The recipe for success seemed pretty straightforward here. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Heading into this, I did pretty much assume I was going to leave the theater loving what Ryan Coogler would deliver, but there's so much passion and soul that he brings to the all-around experience that blew me away. A lot of the fun within Sinners comes from that spicy build-up to that action, and the vampires and all of that stuff, but like in most of Coogler's work, there's also some rich thematic commentary on a variety of things in culture. Having Sinners be this original IP that Ryan Coogler can do whatever he wants with, his vision and storytelling here is immaculate. The journey he takes you on is filled to the brim with so many brilliant shifts among genres that a less experienced filmmaker definitely would struggle with, because the contrasting tones of Sinners are pretty wild. One moment it's a historical drama western, then another part of Sinners is this horny vampire flick. Coogler's strength comes in the showcase of big emotions early on, immersing you in this vibrant world, balancing all of these different characters' backstories that are intimate and gut-wrenching before unleashing some epic, jaw-dropping, violent action sequences. And those elements are part of what makes Sinners so engaging. How the story visually and narratively oftentimes mixes that beauty with its terror. At the heart of the film's social commentary, this discernible pain that people endured in the Jim Crow South, in this instance filtered through a more fantastical lens. Nevertheless, the commentary still hits hard. How the film decides to tackle subject matter like deceit and exploitation dashing someone's dreams of freedom. In many ways, I also feel like Ryan Coogler celebrates artists, culture, and most predominantly black music, how liberating and important a part it plays in history. That love shines through the most predominantly in an astounding celebration sequence of music. It's one of the best sequences overall within Sinners. Now, I pretty much was entrenched in the story regardless, but the film truly does kick into another gear of awesome when these poor folks have to battle vampires after opening up this music joint, and things in the story feel very much akin to vampire flicks like From Dusk Till Dawn. All of the build-up that we spent to this point getting to know these characters made it all the more satisfying unleashing all of this gory, bloody carnage with some hints of horny mixed into things for some fun. These sequences, along with the musical number I mentioned previously, from a visual standpoint, are gorgeously directed. This movie in general probably is the best looking movie I've seen so far in 2025 visually. If you're able to, I highly recommend going and see this the best format possible, whether that be IMAX, IMAX 70mm, etc. You know, in the last couple of years in particular, like one of my favorite movies last year was Nosferatu, we've been seeing this resurgence of vampires in media. And for a long period of time, and one of the major reasons why we didn't get a lot of vampire stuff for a while, is it seemed like we had done almost everything with vampires. How do we utilize them in fresh and unique ways? So I quite like Coogler's approach in utilizing vampires in Sinners. It's unique and poignant how he ties it into culture. For sure, the vampire carnage itself is intense, but when it comes to freedom is something that takes various different forms for these characters. Many of them, unfortunately, have had to deal with a lot of adversity in their lives, whether that be just through inherent racism, along with just straight up tragedies in their lives, and a desire to escape in a way. So the way that vampirism is thrown into the mix, in a way it is kind of like a cult experience in Sinners, they can be seen as another form of liberation and freedom in what they offer for black people and other people of color. Even if choosing to become a vampire has its own adversities that you're going to have to deal with. It's a very fascinating lens to frame vampires in such a way, something that we don't see all of that often. Can't say enough just how brilliant the cast overall for Sinners is across the board. Delroy Lindo and Wunmi Mosaku are exceptional supporting characters. I wasn't familiar with the actor Miles Caton, I hope I'm saying that correctly. He plays Sammy in the film. He is probably the biggest standout for me as far as someone I was not expecting going in. He is incredibly captivating, especially his arc desiring to escape the religious hold of his family to pursue music. When it comes to the antagonist of the movie, the vampires, Jack O'Connell, the way that he sweet talks anyone that he views as prey, there is this alluring presence to him, and same goes for Hailee Steinfeld. She too is masterfully alluring. Her inclusion definitely definitely is where some of that vampire freakiness is thrown into the mix in Sinners. For example, there's one shot in the movie where she's slowly dripping spit into Michael B. Jordan's open mouth, and not only was that just wild to see visually, I can only imagine the jokes that are going to be made about Shameik Moore's reaction to this scene. To this point, we have seen so many great collaborative efforts between Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan in their careers. But Michael B. Jordan shows some incredible range playing dual roles in Sinners. How the two of them are linked within the story is brilliant, but I also love how completely different both performances are. Smoke has this vulnerability to him while managing to be methodical in nature, while Stax is a bit more reckless and quick to impulsive decision making. Plus, from a visual standpoint, I do think it is pretty cool that they are color coordinated. Stax wears a lot of red clothing, whereas Smoke wears a lot of blue stuff. Similar to the constant collaborations between Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, Ludwig Göransson, I mean, I don't say this lightly, and I'm not really trying to say this to be hyperbolic, but at the bare minimum, I think your Oscar nomination is secured with this score for Sinners. Considering music is so critical to the film as a whole, his score is this gorgeous blend of generations worth of music that I cannot wait to listen to over and over again once the soundtrack is released to the public. I do really hope overall that audiences are okay with the slow burn effect of Sinners. That is one thing I am kind of worried about as far as a general mass audience appeal. If you're able to embrace the slow burn nature of the story and how Ryan Coogler allows the tension within the story to gradually build up before letting it unleash, I do think it's going to be a rewarding experience if you do enjoy them. All around, Sinners gorgeously weaves together the perfect slow burn experience. While the vampire elements entice you, deliver something new to the genre, there's a strong emotional core that sinks its teeth into you, bringing this film to life in such gorgeous ways. As I said before, I highly recommend seeing this in the best premium format you can, whether that be Dolby, IMAX, whatever is around you. I think it's going to give you the best overall experience. And also, by the way, this is very much akin to the Marvel post-credit scenes. There's two post-credit scenes. There's one that's a mid-credit scene, and there's one at the very, very end of the credits, so make sure you check those out because I think you're going to enjoy them. Let me know down below, though, would you get a chance to check out Sinners? What'd you think of the film? Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? Thank you guys. As always, chat videos, I always do appreciate it. Make sure to like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.